Hey everybody, it is November of 2017. I am making this video. This one is going to be specifically for the process of installation and getting the gate system. I'm working on a new setup for the traffic signal. Had a lot of people request that, hey, can you turn it into like a real functioning traffic light and have that tied into the gate. So I am actually in the process of doing that. It's all installed. I just have to go through the wiring and reprogram the controller and do some minor wiring connections and stuff like that for this. But that should be hopefully in the next week here or so working, and once it gets working I'll make a new video talking about it. But right now I just want to talk about the gate system and again the process of installation and getting it and all that good stuff. I've had a lot of people email me and ask, how did you get it, where did it come from, how did you install it, how was it all put together. So I did not take a lot of video back when I was putting it in, but I took a lot of photos. So I'm going to go inside to my computer here and I'm going to narrate you through the process of installation for the gate system here.
All right, everybody, we've moved inside here. So let's go ahead and go into details about how this all occurred and what happened. The biggest question I get is, how did you get it? How did you get the crossing? Did you get it legally? All that kind of stuff. Yes, everything was obtained legally. So I didn't go out to a crossing one night and decide to take a souvenir. What I did was I contacted one of our short line railroads in my area that I live in here in northern Indiana. And I pretty much went to him and said, listen, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build this thing. And it must have been my lucky day because the person I spoke with said, yeah, we can get you set up here. I had to pay a scrapping fee that they would charge to anybody that would come in and scrap any sort of equipment. So I was able to get the pole, the gate mechanism, and a few odds and ends, including a sign, some brackets and stuff, for $15. So I lucked out. If you're ever interested in trying to get something from a railroad or surplus, or trying to find out, hey, they're updating a crossing, what's the chance of me getting a bell light, anything like that. In my experience, the larger railroads, you're not going to have so much luck with, because usually they've got companies that will contract through to take everything out. If you go to a smaller railroad, you have a lot better chance because it's more, it's a smaller setup. It may be more local than a national type organization. So if you're trying to get one, I would go to a local, smaller line railroad, figure out where their office is, and give them a call and tell them what you're trying to do and see if they can help you out, or if they can recommend where you can try to get one at. So mine was obtained, again, a local short line. So I got the okay to come and get it from them. So I actually rented a U-Haul trailer and I drove out to their location to pick it up. So here it is on the back of the trailer, the gate mechanism. Again, they gave me some other items, some signs and stuff that I was able to load in, along with the pole, which was nice. It's a iron pole, which is nice. So I get it back home, and here it is in the garage, trying to, taking up space here. Again, it was pretty rusted out, so it needed a little TLC of the pole and stuff, a few other light brackets. When I got it home was when I first opened up the gate mechanism, have a look inside. I'd never had a look inside before, so I took some photos trying to figure out what was inside and what I needed to do to actually wire it up. And luckily there was a wiring schematic inside that I was able to follow. They also gave me 2 old railroad signs that I was able to tear apart and clean as well. These are the lights that I had before I got the gate. I got them locally online, so those are the ones I was trying to use. So moving out to the backyard here, this is the spot where I essentially decided to put my gate in. After looking at a lot of the areas in my house, I realized that this corner right here was going to be the best spot to put it in. So I started digging down as far as I could. I hit some rock on the bottom and determined that this was going to be the best spot to just install it. So I kept digging, and at the time I had a traffic light already back there, so I was going to kind of tie it into that as well. I went down pretty far, and it doesn't look like in the photos, but I had another gate set up already, actually a pole that I used to model the anchor box and the mold for the anchor bolts and everything into. So I put that up on the box there, and then made sure it fit because it was identical to the one I got from my haul. So I put it in the ground there to make sure it fit and try to get an idea of what it was going to look like. So everything fit fine. So once it was in the ground, I went ahead and put concrete in, dropped my anchor bolts, and ran my conduit pipe in it as well. So I let it kind of sit for a couple days. I let it kind of hardcore. I also put some rebar inside of it as well to make it a little more tougher since it's going to have a heavy object on top. And it was the second time I actually created one of those, so it actually turned out pretty good. So I finally dried. I put the pole on, and it fit. That was good. That was kind of a pain to get it up there. I ran the wiring through the side and inside just to make sure everything fit. And then with the help of one of my friends, we got the gate mechanism launched up into the gate. Onto the pole there, which was not an easy task if you don't have a crane. So that was a lot of fun. So we finally have it up there. It's all set. And I let it sit up there for a couple days because I was afraid the wind was going to blow it over, test how rough that concrete was, and it actually worked out. So then I put the lights, and I managed the 2-track sign on as well. The original ones I had here were Safe Train lights. The visors were beat up, and the targets or the back plates were beat up as well. So I replaced those later on. So yeah, this is about a week later here, and then I finally put the crossbuck on it as well, and it still had that old look to it with the paint coming off from the pole, but I finally got the gate installed onto it here, and at this time there were no lights on it yet, and I had to buy this section here online, the crossbar to mount the gate. It was the one piece I had to buy, and that was not cheap. That was about $600 I had to buy online and have it freighted in, and that's the piece you can see there attached to the gate. You can see it's new, it doesn't match everything else. So yeah, I got it up there, and yeah, it looked pretty good. I was pretty happy with it. And then once everything was up, I started running the wiring to the control box. So this is the foundation for the control box going in there. I got the wiring all set up in the base of the gate pole there, and you can see the distance between the concrete base of the gate and the control box base here. So I got the conduit run, and then finally ran all the concrete to it and ran all the wiring and mounted the box, which was a surplus box from govdeals.com. Best place to get stuff at ever, let me tell you. So that is, again, I could talk for hours and hours and hours on this, but that is kind of a quick synopsis of how the gate mechanism went in. I wish I had video from back in the day, but I don't. I just took a lot of photos, and it was I had this vision of what I wanted it to look like, and I wasn't sure whether it was going to. I was afraid that the concrete base was going to fall or break apart or just not work out. And it's been almost 3 years since that went in, and I've had some pretty bad windstorms. A small EF1 tornado last year rolled through and caused some damage, knocked some trees down, but the gate setup still stayed up, so I'm pretty happy the way that's holding up. And so that was the original setup of the gate with the lights, the gate, the crossbuck, no bell at that time, and the control box. Now, since then, it obviously has changed, many times in terms of new lights, new signage. It got a complete paint job after it got installed, and I got all the lights put on it the way I wanted it to. It was right after this photo was taken here. I went and I got some metallic spray paint, and then just essentially, I think I went through 6 cans of that spray paint, and went through top to bottom and got it painted all one color, and which gives it the kind of finished look that I have today with it. So yeah, that's kind of a quick synopsis on just how the gate went in and everything. I'm going to do another video here shortly of the control cabinet, just talking about that going in and the build out for that and what wires it and where the wires go and what functions and what relays I use and such. But that's going to be coming down here pretty shortly. So anyway, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for subscribing to my channel. When I originally put these videos on, I just put them on just to kind of show what I had. I had no idea, a couple of videos were going to have, close to 400,000 views. No idea. So I'm glad that people are watching them. And, I think probably the other biggest question I get is, why do you have this in your backyard? And my question or response back is, why not? Everyone's got a hobby. Since I was a kid, I've been fascinated with these, and I'd go to the local crossings and just watch the gates go up and down, and I was fascinated by the mechanics of it. And I always thought in the back of my head, you know what, I'd love to get one someday. Realistically, did I think it was going to happen? No. And then everything has kind of opened up where I was able to get one, got it here, and then, didn't think I was actually going to put it up, and I did, and it works great. It works great, and, I'm happy with the way it's all kind of worked out, and I'm glad to kind of look out my back window and see it. I think my neighbors think I'm crazy, but overall, doesn't matter. I'm happy, so that's all that really matters. So, stay tuned. If you haven't watched any of the other videos, they go back a couple years, and you can see the progress of the gate being installed and painted and the upgrades on it and such. And then I'm working on a new traffic light setup connected as well, because the other big thing, I had the traffic light already in my backyard when I put this in, and then the goal was to tie it into that traffic light, which I did later on, and that's been through a couple enhancements and changes, and now it's going through its next change here where it's going to be a regular functioning traffic light tied in. So I'm excited for it, and it gives me something to kind of work on here. So yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to the next video, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment, and make sure you subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff, and we'll see you on the next video.